Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for your patience as we were having difficulties with getting the mics all set up and the program all set up. We're so happy that you joined us for the Power of Social Media, another workshop and webinar presented by the Mahwah Regional Chamber of Commerce. I'm going to fly through the intro here. Today, we are so lucky to have Carl Cox from Carl Cox Studios giving a Google Plus hangout, and not really a hangout, but a webinar about circles, collections, and communities. So I just want to give you a few pieces of information about Carl. He is a modern visual communication specialist, capturing the essence of special moments, whether he's photographing a wedding, family portraits, actor headshots, or business professionals, environments, or products. He serves a wide range of commercial and personal photography clients in Rockland, Westchester, Orange, Bergen, and Fairfield counties, as well as the Capital District from Saratoga Springs. Obviously, he's a member of the Professional Photographers of America, and he's been having his work recognized by a jury of his peers as best of the best. So let's just get right into it, Carl. Welcome, and let's get into this presentation today.
All righty, thank you, Patty. And I would like to first mention our sponsor, who is R&D Legal Bookkeeping. They manage your business finances, so you can focus on increasing your bottom line. And sponsored by myself, Carl Cox from Carl Cox Studios. So I'd like to start with good morning and congratulations. You're here because you understand the power of social media, and I congratulate you on taking the step to learn more. So jump right in. What is Google Plus? Google Plus is a social network that builds off of your Google account. What's a Google account? That's a great question. If you have a Google account like Gmail, you're already on your way. So if you don't have Gmail, the first thing you should do is go to accounts.google.com, and that will allow you to create an account, and we'll go there in a little bit. Why Google Plus? There are 300 million monthly users of Google Plus, which is currently only 38% of the digital population, and only 13% of US small businesses have a presence here, and it's growing every day. And when I first saw this, I thought, wow, only 13%. But we're going to get into the power of using Google Plus now before more small businesses get registered. Alrighty, so getting started, if you have a Google Gmail account, you can go into Gmail, and up in the top right-hand corner where the little blue arrow points, there is a grid, which is a menu. And when you click on that, once you have a Gmail account, a lot of people don't realize that you have access to everything that Google offers: Google Search, Google Maps, YouTube, Google Play, News, Gmail, Drive, the list goes on. And if you click more at the bottom, there's even more things. So as soon as you create a Google account, you have access to all of these things, and you're registered with all of these things. When you do log into your Google Plus account, once you go to Google Plus, it's going to give you the option to meet the new Google Plus. This is the way to go. You don't want to stay with the old one. Click Let's Go, and it will show you the new Google Plus. What we're going to cover today is how to get Google Plus, tour the homepage, set up your profile, finding and following people, communities, collections, creating posts, and using those posts with your collections to promote your business. We are going to move along pretty quick here, so if you do have questions, please put them in the messaging chat section.
In the chat box. I just sent them a note so that they would know that, Carl, and I told them we would take those questions at about 9:50 since we had a little trouble with getting this started.
Okay, that sounds great. All right, thanks, Patty. All right, so quick tour of the homepage. Everyone can say I made a post this morning getting ready to give a tour of Google Plus for the MRCC experience. We're going to start right up here in the top left-hand corner. This will hide your menu on the left. Anytime that you click Google Plus, brings you back to your home page. Welcome to the home page. On your home page, you get an overview of all posts that you've made, as well as posts made by people that you're following. And I'll just scroll here a little bit. You can see kind of the things that pop up. And if you don't have enough things that you follow, Google is really happy to show you what's hot on Google Plus right now. And all kinds of cool things can show up in there, and we'll get into that more in a little bit.
Carl, do you want to make your screen that it goes full screen? Because right now we can't see the back.
Okay. That better?
Yes, that's much larger.
All right, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, and next thing we'll talk about is the search bar. When you click on the search bar, this allows you to search all things Google+, YouTube, collections, people, pages, and we're going to get into that in more detail as we move forward. All righty, and then before we go any further, it's really awkward. I don't know why they did this, but to create a post, they put it all the way down here in the bottom right-hand corner, the little white pencil in the orange box. So the next thing that I want to talk about is now that you have your Google Plus account, you want to put some information about yourself in there. If this is a new account, up in the top right-hand corner, I have my professional portrait. For you, it'll most likely have your initials. So for Patty Simone, if she just created it, would have a PS up there. If you click that, you have all of these options. The thing you want to click is the Google Plus profile. And this shows you the public profile that everyone can see. And you can see I've got a little header image in there. And it tells my studio name, how many followers I have, my little tagline, and it shows my interests. To set up your profile, you're going to click Edit Profile. And what this does is it gives you a quick overview of everything that people can see. So this is where you can change your profile header image. It's where you can change your business portrait or put a logo in there. And to go in even more detail, you can click on About Me, that little I that was down there. And this allows you to control what people can see about you. So this is, again, it allows you to change your header image. You can change your profile picture. I have my business studio name in there, my work history, what websites. You should also add, if you have LinkedIn, you should have LinkedIn on here, YouTube channel, your website, Twitter, Facebook, all of those good things in there. For me, places, my current residence is in Pomona, so I have that there. That's marked as public. And people can pretty much figure out I'm male. My birthday's hidden. I'm not sure why I did that, and my occupation is photography. So that's a quick overview of setting up your profile. Also on your profile is a great place if you were fortunate enough to hear Karen's webinar a few weeks back about LinkedIn. It's a perfect place to put call to action. So if you have some kind of a promotion or you want somebody to read more, link back to your blog. Anything that you post on Google Plus, it's so important to put a link back to your website or back to a blog post, and we're going to talk why that's important more later. The next important thing that we're going to talk about is people. They divide, Google, being they, divides these categories into people you want to find, people that you are following, and people that are following you. The more people that you follow, the better that Google Plus gets at determining who you know or who you should know and who you should be following. So if you want to find someone, this is the list that Google Plus is showing me right now, people. It goes by who you have in common. And you can, if you want to follow them, you can just come down here. Let's take a look. Back Home Safely with Greg Frank. If I want to follow Greg, I just click follow, and I'm following him. If I click follow again, it brings me some options. And these options here are your circles. We're going to talk about those in a few moments. And I can add this individual to these different circles, and we'll talk about the importance of those. I'm going to mark him just right now as a networking person and a potential client. The people that you add to your groups or add to your circles, they do not know what category they're in. For people that I'm following, we'll pick on Patty because she's right here. So this is Patty's profile. She's got some posts, which is pretty cool.
But I do have to update that picture.
Yes, you do. You have much better photos. But I have Patty in 4 circles. So she's in my friend circle. She's somebody that I'm following, so I see her posts. She's an MRCC. She's also a client. And this, again, we'll get into the importance of having these circles. Now, these are people that are following me. The beauty of this is I know that Mike Mahoney is following me, and I've also have him in Two Circles. Woman Centric is following me. They just started following me last night, so I haven't had a chance to do anything with them. Okay, so we're going to click on Michael Weitzman here. So I have Michael in Two Circles. So he's in my networking people and potential clients. And the beauty is that people can't see what circles you have them in. So it's very powerful. These three dots right here are critical. If you have someone that you don't want to follow you, or you don't like the comments they're making, you can block them. If you don't like their posts, you can just mute them. That way they can follow you. They can be someone that's in your circles, but you don't see what their posts are. And the obvious report abuse. All right, this leads me to circles. When you click on the following tab, it shows your circles right down here. And you can click on the bottom where it says new circle. That'll allow you to create a circle. What circles do is they allow you to categorize people that you share your posts with. So you can see here that I've broken mine down to friends, family. My family doesn't care what I post about my business or any of that stuff. So they just go in their own little group. Acquaintances, these are people that I meet at various networking events, people that I don't necessarily feel that they are a potential client, but somebody that I might want to keep in contact with and don't know where to categorize them yet. Anyone that's in MRCC goes in the MRCC category. My clients, networking people, photographers, and potential clients.
Carl, doesn't Google automatically set up a couple of them for you, and then you can change them when you?
Yeah, it sets up friends, family, acquaintances, and the other one that they set up, I got rid of. It just didn't work for me. But they do set up a few, and you can change the settings. You can go into circle settings, and you can change the amount of information, what's shared, and how many posts that you want to show up on your home stream and that kind of thing. Right. And unfortunately, this can get so detailed that we could spend 2 hours just talking about people. And boy, wouldn't that be fun.
Moving right along.
Moving right along. Okay. How are we doing for timing, Patty?
Yeah, we're doing okay. It's 9:23. So.
Okay, great. All righty, so next we're going to talk about Google Communities. Google Communities are like Facebook groups. It's where you go to find people who are interested in the same things you are, same interests, food, music, sports, even networking. There's a couple of really great ones. My favorite is actually not listed as a community. I think it's listed as a collection, so we'll get into that in a little bit. But communities are groups. Help grow your YouTube. This is a group. It's only got 11,000 members. But if you want to know how to grow your YouTube channel, you can share it with other YouTube producers, and they will share your work. It's pretty cool. If you want to learn how to work WhatsApp better, if you want to learn more about Facebook, the power of this, these groups that it shows here, these are kind of small groups, 10,000 members, 800,000 members, almost 2 million members. There are some groups that have as many as 8 or 9 million members, and those are the groups that you want to check out before you choose. So you can go into a group. It's a recommended group. And yes, the power of the internet.
Yeah, right?
Okay, so when you go into a group, you don't join right away. Just go through and look and see if what people are posting is what you're interested in before you invest time and fill up your feed with that. There's so many different groups. It knows I'm interested in photography, so I get a lot of photography recommendations. Once you join a group, when you click member, it shows you all of the groups that you're a member of, so you can just look at those. And then if you create your own community, it would show up under the Yours tab. Communities are a great way to build a following for your website.
And your business, right?
And your business, yeah.
You have like-minded issues about, say, if you wanted to start an entrepreneurs group that's, specific to photography, or if you have a special hobby or an interest, right?
Yep, exactly. So when you would create a blog post, you would post it in your community, and you would also post it in your collections. And we're going to move into collections now. So Google Plus collections allow you to categorize your updates by topic, helping your followers quickly find updates for the topics that they're interested in and follow just those topics versus all of your posts. So for me, I do a lot of work for Habitat for Humanity Rockland, and I just set this up. I haven't moved into it yet because Habitat isn't on Google Plus right at the second. But as soon as they are, any blog post that I create, any news brief that happens for Habitat for Humanity Rockland will be posted in this group. Anyone who's interested in Habitat will find this collection and they can follow just the collection versus everything that I post. And then I have another collection for my favorite quotes. I love quotes, so it's a great group. And you can look into featured collections. My favorite collection is Try the Red Pill. It is Google Plus tips and advice, and it's by Jana Nystrom, and she has absolutely fantastic content in here on using mobile Google Plus and just little tips and tricks, and she's got a lot of tips and tricks, so it's a great thing. Patty, if you want to put that out in a share, that would be great.
Yeah. Okay. And that was collections?
Yes. And it's called Google Plus Tips and Advice, Try the Red Pill.
Okay.
So the power of collections, it's your opportunity to share your expertise. If you're an accountant and you send out a newsletter weekly, you should share the newsletter in your collection about tax tips or estate planning, anything like that. So that leads me to posts and creating a post. So from your home page, you click on create a post, and it puts your little picture here. It puts my studio name, and then I can choose where I want to share this. So if I share it publicly, everybody sees it. If I post it in my collection, only those who follow my Habitat for Humanity collection or those who follow my favorite quotes collection, or you can create a new collection. When you click see more, it'll show you again your collections, but it also shows your circles. And what's really cool about this is if I am doing something and I only want to share it with MRCC members, I click that and this post will only be visible to people who are in my MRCC circle.
So it really is giving you a ton of control.
Yes, it is. It's really good. It's got a lot more power than Facebook's privacy controls. The other thing that's interesting is I can come down here and it'll show me all the people I follow, and I can share it specifically with just them and not any circle or without it being public. So we'll make a quick MRCC post.
Having a fabulous time presenting. And,
yep, spelling is not my strong point.
Yeah, and obviously it's good also that you can put in pictures here as well, because pictures really do grab people's attention to look at different posts more than just text.
And you can put hashtags in here.
Right.
And there we go. We can even add a photo. Of course, it doesn't have my desktop photos, but that's okay. I'll just put that in there and post.
And there you go.
So when I go to my homepage, I can see that post, and it says on there shared privately. So anyone who's in my MRCC group will get to see that, but anyone who's not can't.
Right.
All righty. So what's the power of making a Google Plus post? The beauty of this is just like sharing a blog post on Facebook, you share your blog post here. When you share here, that increases your SEO. Google will see that it's shared on Facebook. It'll see that it's shared on your blog and any place else that it gets shared, Twitter, LinkedIn. The more reach that you have, the better that your SEO becomes.
You know, Sharon has posted a question in the chat
Yes.
thing that I think is meaningful to just discuss now. She asked, is Google Plus in direct competition with Facebook?
You know, they're not pushing it as direct competition. They have the interesting part is Google has 300 billion registered users, which is twice the size of Facebook's family, so to speak. The interesting part is the moment that you create a Google account. So if you create a YouTube account, a Google Play account, a Google Drive account, you're automatically considered part of the Google Plus family, even though you haven't activated it. Like I said, right now, only 13% of small businesses in the US are registered on this, but it is growing every day. I've read stats where it's growing between 10 and 15% every month. So the beauty of using this right now in conjunction with Facebook, and you can link it back to your Facebook page or link it back to your blog. The power of doing this is you're establishing a content base before everyone else has discovered this product. And I just, my personal feelings being a technology person, this has been around for years, and they keep updating it. They keep making significant changes, but they're not really heavily marketing it the way that Facebook is. So I'm not really sure what their moves are, but it's not something they intend to do away with.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't think that it's it obviously has not been embraced as much by the masses as some of the other platforms. It is more for people that are more tech savvy. But that said, for marketers and for businesses and for anyone who knows anything about search engine optimization, it obviously is a very important tool for organically giving you better rankings, because Google, you know, rewards people for their activity in Google Plus. And that also reflects back into, you know, how you come up in the ranking. The one thing that another Sharon had asked also is, do they offer any advertising?
That's not something that I've seen mentioned anywhere. I've read extensively about this the last few months, and I have not seen anything about advertising. It's just kind of free reign right now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so we'll keep it, you know, keep an eye on that, whether they do. Right now, it just makes sense to be there and to, you know, set up some automated things where you're sharing in different spaces, because the more digital markers that you have out there that are in quality spaces, the better it is for your organic search ranking, especially if it's a Google product. So YouTube and Google Plus, they're going to reward people that are in those spaces.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's we moved through this pretty quickly. I got a little moving pretty well here because we got started late. So does anyone have any other questions?
Yeah, we've got plenty of time. That you can maybe show some of the other things and how different people. I don't know if you had put aside some things of how different people are using it.
Yeah, pretty much. When you move into communities, this is really where it's big right now. Just people create a community, they get people interested in it, and then people share in that community. Cooking, of course, I'm always picking the ones with the low counts, but I love to cook, and this is a great group. You go in here, people are sharing their recipes. Again, everybody who's sharing, you can see here that this group shared only to the food group. So they only share it with their foodie people. It doesn't go to their public post. And a lot of these are blogs that come back to, or posts that take you back to a blog. And like I said, right now, these folks are all building equity in the future of what Google Plus is hopefully going to become. And let's, you know, Google is one of the largest search engines. I read somewhere that Facebook is right now the top search engine, followed very closely by Google. I don't know how accurate that is. But as more and more people get into Google Plus, and as Google starts to introduce more Google Plus results as search results, this is going to become huge.
You know, Danielle Richards has asked a question about what the difference is between Google Plus and Google Drive and other Google stuff.
Okay.
Do you have any insight on that?
Yes, Google Plus is a social media platform. Google Drive is a place where you can put files and share those files with other people. So if you put a file on Google Drive, you can share that file through Google Plus. Google Drive is like Dropbox. If I'm not sure if you're familiar with Dropbox, but it's only shareable with the people that you give access to it.
Okay.
Alrighty, and then it's like everything with Google. So there's the Google search engine. So you go there to do your searches. You go to Google Plus to use social media. You go to Gmail to do email, and you go to YouTube to watch videos. So that's how it's different. And of course, Google wants you to put everything on their service. So they want you to store your files on Google Drive. They want you to use their calendar. They want you to use their photo storage, and you know, I'm just going to be blunt about it. They want as much information as you about as possible.
Right. Anita has asked a question about if you could go over again, please confirm how to use the settings that separate professional versus personal information.
Okay. So you're going to do that by clicking on your picture, or it'll be your initials in the top right-hand corner, and go to Google Plus Profile. And edit profile. And then you're going to click on the little information button about me.
Yeah, they don't, you know, that they really don't make that too user intuitive. Could they?
They don't. And that's part of the challenge of why it's not taking off as well as Facebook did.
Yeah.
And they're a great tech company, and they're a great search engine company, but they've got a lot to learn when it comes to being user friendly.
Right.
And then under your work history, if you want to edit, you just click the pencil.
And you also can see that for each block, you have a choice of making it public or not. So you can totally not share your birthday, for example.
Right.
If you don't want to share your birthday, you don't need to share your birthday with the world. You can keep that, you know, to yourself.
Exactly. And then once you enter work history, if you want to add another company, you click the plus over here. Again, not necessarily intuitive. For websites, you could click here. You can add another website.
And that is something you definitely should fill out. And the more information you have in your profile that leads people to other places where they can easily click and find you on Facebook, on Twitter, on whatever communities you're on, Pinterest, Instagram, Blab, if you're doing Blab, any of those profiles, that's good.
There you go. Now I added that, and as soon as I added my Facebook business profile, it puts it as a private post, and I'm going to make it public because I want everyone to see that. Right. And you can add one for everything. Go ahead.
Bill Genovese has also asked a question. He has this. I don't know that this is something that Carl might be able to answer, unfortunately, Phil, because it is about Gmail instead of Google Plus. But he asked, I currently have 3 email addresses to manage. How do you manage all of these?
That's a really good question. There is an option when you click on your profile picture where it says add account, and it will allow you to merge all of your Google accounts. And
yeah, you can toggle back and forth between as many accounts as you have.
Yeah, and then you can just switch. But the other thing that Google has and Gmail has, and this isn't really the venue for this, but you can have all of your Google accounts forward to other email accounts. So if you have 3 Gmail accounts, you can set up 2 of them to forward emails into your 3rd Gmail account where you want everything to be.
Yeah, and that's pretty standard with any whether you have a website and you're doing your emails are coming through your own website, you can set up all the forwards so that you only have one inbox to look at any one given time because things are forwarded.
Exactly. The beauty of having it all forwarded into one place also is when you reply from that one account, it gives you the option of who you want to reply from. So you can change the from address to any of those 3 or 4 or 5 emails that are being forwarded.
Okay, I'm going to put this on now so that everybody can see what's going on. I think everybody should be able to see the chat, the questions that people have asked. And if there's anything else, we can do that. But the one thing I think I was just thinking of while you were speaking before is, to just as a suggestion, if you're using it just for business, it still is okay, and it's kind of actually better for you that you can get in front of people in different ways if you're talking about other things that are of interest. Because let's face it, if you're into travel, if you're into history, if you're into good food or gourmet food, or even if you're just a novice chef or whatever, those different interest categories and the kinds of posts that you share, sort of humanize you and humanize your business, and it gets you in front of other people in a different way.
Exactly. And one of the things that I always talk about with clients is you always want to establish a personal connection. And this is a great way to establish a personal connection without actually letting people into your life. They can see your interests, they can see what you follow, they can see where you give back. One of the things that I'm going to set up is in my collections, I'm going to set up a group or a collection about speaking. I'm going to set up a collection I'll have one for habitat, I have one for favorite quotes, and I'm going to create one for road trips. So people will be able to see what I've done, where I've gone, and that'll all create a connection with me before they even speak with me. I do want to just jump back to Anita's question. Anita, did I answer your question?
Let's see. I think so.
Okay, great. Thank you.
The next question, though, that Danielle had asked is, does Google Plus differentiate between a personal account and a business account? Meaning, is one better for SEO than another?
I believe it's all in how you use it. I have a personal account, and then I also created, and we don't have time to get into it today, I also created a Google Plus business page, which really doesn't have a lot of option to it right now. It's kind of there. I can't really add a lot to it. But when I make a post, I try to post under both.
Okay.
And as far as SEO, I think the more reach that you have, like if you create a blog post for the MRCC, that improves your SEO. So if you create posts and you put them on Facebook, on your business page, your Facebook personal page, Twitter, LinkedIn, I do things on Instagram that link back. All of these things are Google seeing that I have reach. And every time somebody shares from one of those things, it gives me even more reach and pushes my SEO higher.
Yeah, and it's so funny because a lot of times, you would think that it would be counterintuitive if you're talking about, like, if you're a marketing consultant, let's just say, and you're focusing on marketing and social media advice and strategy and whatever, you would think it would be counterintuitive to like pop a recipe in every once in a while, but it really isn't. People are engaged by different things, and it's perfectly fine to show a different side of you, and plus it gets you in front of other people. So you can establish, of course, your own line of where you draw it, of what you share personally and what not. But hobbies and interests, those are great ways to get your face and the face of your business in front of people through a shared interest or hobby.
Exactly. I follow the 80-20 rule, which is 80% of my posts are non-business and 20% are business related. And if you folks haven't read it, there's a book out there called Jab, 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 Right Hook. And it's really a fantastic, it's a short read. I read it in an hour, so most of you guys could probably do it in half an hour. But it really gets into social media and how to use it. And that perfect way to market. And what I found was when I just posted about my business, I got 5 or 6 visits to my website a day. And as soon as I started doing all of these little things, like I just posted yesterday about the Granny Pod, that's a really cool thing where they drop this basically like a hospital room behind your house, and it allows someone in your family who needs medical care to be close by, but not living in your home and not be intruded upon. Holy cow, I got 35 visits to my website just from that yesterday, and it has nothing to do with photography.
Right. So Rhonda asked a very good question. She just set up an account while she's been on the webinar. Good for you, Rhonda, for
Go, Rhonda.
Multitasking. Anyway, and she's floored by the amount of personal information that is automatically populated in her personal information setting, including a default credit card number. And so she said, should I be blocking all of this, or would it be too late anyway? So no, it's never too late, right?
It's never too late. But I think that as Americans, we worry so much about privacy, but we don't realize how much information we give to Google and Yahoo every single day. Did you ever send an email to someone and then you start getting spam regarding the contents of your email? There's somebody who's going through your email. It could be a search engine, it could be a hacker, but anything that you do online, Google has it. There's a great documentary called Terms and Conditions May Apply. And one of the things it talks about is how the government has these huge warehouses, and I'm talking 800 to 1 million square foot warehouses in the middle of the desert that do nothing but collect data from the internet. And Google is a master at figuring out, if you have 3 Google accounts, if you link one Google account to the other, it'll say, oh, you can also link these other 4 Google accounts you have.
Wow. Yeah, so
there's not a lot of online privacy.
No, well, you have to be very vigilant. I mean, this is why in even one of the blog posts that I just put on the Mahwah Regional Chamber, I said to people, you really need to Google yourself frequently, because you'd be amazed at what comes up. And you can't do anything to change it if you don't know. So you really should Google yourself on a regular basis so that you can see, and you should go through every single account that you've established an online persona, especially the social communities, and make sure that the privacy settings are exactly the way you want them to be, because you do have some control on some things. On other things, like if you've even given a donation to a nonprofit, if they publish something in a newsletter that goes online, that your name will be coming up on a PDF because it's readable now. So yeah, I mean, it is amazing how much people can find out about you, but as much as you can, it's advisable to have, do due diligence and make sure that you can, put the settings the way you want them in as many places as you have control in.
Exactly. And then one other thing to add to that is if you click on the grid and you go to Google News, you can, I'm not really sure where it is in here, but you can set up Google News alerts. And what's really cool is you can put your name in, and of course I haven't done this in a long time, so I can't find it. But if you do, you can set up a custom news alert. You can put your name in. And I've done news alerts for every possible spelling of my studio. And anytime that something comes into the news, I know about it.
Okay, we have to wrap up in a few minutes, but I want to get to another couple of questions. How do you link? Danielle has asked, how do you link from Instagram to Google+? Instagram has built-in links to Facebook and Twitter, but none for sharing with Google+.
Yeah, you would need to put it into your Instagram profile to link you over to Google+. But I wouldn't want to send people from Instagram to Google+. I want to send them from Instagram to my website.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Website.
At some point in time, it's not just about sharing within the social channels, but also directing people directly to where you want them to go ultimately, which is your website, and you want them to email you and get in touch with you. So, at some point,
you don't want them to have to take a long sordid trail to get to you. It's Instagram. Instagram is the least flexible right now for me, but it works. I can't believe how much work I get doing food photography from Instagram.
Right. Anita has posted something. She's in a quandary here. Is there a help phone number? I have attempted to delete information and it still pops up. Help. Well, I think that maybe, Anita, you could email Carl at the end of this, and maybe he could give you some, a little bit more information, because I don't know exactly where you're looking at right now.
Right. A great website to get help is called gethuman.com. I'll actually type that in here. It's anytime you call somewhere, excuse me, and you get one of those dial trees, or you got to go through and you have all these a million menus. If you go to gethuman.com and type in the company that you're trying to contact, it'll actually give you names and phone numbers of people that you can contact directly within companies to get assistance, and it's free.
Yeah, and Karen is saying you can only get phone support for Google if you have a business account, to her knowledge anyway.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, but there are a lot of people that are having the same issues. So, if you're having an issue with anything, I always advise people just Google it. Google what it is. I need to find out, or is there any way to get help about? And you'd be surprised how many people have had similar situations, and you can find chat rooms where there might be some advice and information that you can profit from.
Exactly. All righty. Any other questions?
I don't see anything coming in.
All righty.
So is there any last wrap up that you'd like to do, and just in terms of, some tips about using Google Plus?
Just post frequently. Don't go crazy. I try to post 2 or 3 times a day. Again, I do more social posts than I do business posts. And I find that the social things really get me a lot more traction than just saying, wow, look at this great headshot I did, or look at this great photo that I made. Anything personal really gets the traction over top of the business.
Yeah, no, that's true.
And that's my personal experience.
Yeah, I mean, that's the general rule. It's about being valuable to people. And it's not about saying, look at me, here's what I do, but more 80% about sharing tips and information and resources that may be connected to what you do, that you're looked at as a trusted advisor and an expert in your field. And then 20% of, yeah, I'm running a special, I'm doing a workshop, if you need help with that kind of thing. And that works much better to pull people to you than the constant just talking about come and visit, or whatever, I'm selling this, that, and the other thing.
Exactly.
Okay, so we want to wrap up, and thank you so much for being a part of the Power of Social Media webinar series by the Mahwah Regional Chamber of Commerce. We have a few more coming up. If you check on mahwah.com, you can see all the upcoming events that are going to be out there. We've got flyers as well. And of course, we're advertising them in Mahwah Regional Chambers, and the presenters' own social channels as well. We'd like you to mark the date for June 30th, because we're going to be having a live full day event with panels and keynotes and all kinds of support. And it's all focused around social media, getting you guys more in tune with what's out there, how to use the tools, the strategies and methodologies used by bigger businesses, so that you can really tap into some of the success stories that are out there without, having the huge budget of a lot of bigger brands. So thanks again for attending, and we look forward to having you join us at future webinars and events.